love the summer. I wait all year for this season. 3/4 of the year I'm spending anticipating. I always find that I have this huge buildup of what I think summer is gonna be. It starts moving, going, and then, you know, I find myself watching reruns of Degrassi all day on Netflix, and that's when I realize it's not all I hyped it up to be. So today's video is going to be summer bucket list ideas. Our goal is to give you that Phineas and Ferb summer. Harry the platypus is gonna be proud. So with that being said, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys like it. Also, I'm going on vacation next week, so make sure you go follow me on Instagram because I'm gonna be posting a ton of pictures on there. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys like it, and let's just get started. So transportation and money. I always found that these were the biggest roadblocks when it came to me having the greatest summer ever. I didn't get my license until I was 17, so therefore I had no car, and I was like, what is a girl to do? Because I was stuck in a residential neighborhood where the closest grocery store was probably a 10-minute drive. So, times have come a long way since I was a teen. I'm still a teen. Times have come a long way since I was a minor, which was not long ago. So the first thing you have is Uber. Uber is basically everywhere now, if not most cities. I know my very small town in Florida has Uber. I took it to the local Red Robin once. You know, I'm really curious how much that cost me now looking back. If you live in a city or like closer to a town, there's always the city bus. Oh my gosh, my friends and I were once so desperate to go to the beach that we were gonna take the city bus, but then we didn't. I think it's because it rained that day, but we were gonna do it. And if I did, I would have had a great story to tell you guys about my city bus experience. I actually have taken the city bus. My personal favorite, it really wasn't my favorite. Great for exercising though. Biking. I swear growing up, everyone in my neighborhood knew me as like the girl who biked because I literally was on my bike all the time. It depends on how close you are to things, but like for me, I had like an ice cream shop and maybe like 2 or 3 restaurants and like a neighborhood park, and also a lot of my friends lived in my neighborhood but not in the subdivision I lived in, so I would just bike to their houses. It's great physically, you know, I felt like my legs were really toned because I literally used to bike probably a solid 2 to 3 hours a day. So those are some transportation options. Now moving on to money. Over the age of like 15 or 14, you can typically find a job. I know a lot of local grocery stores start hiring at 15. This is how I used to make an income as a teen, and I would make like solid money doing it. I used to sell all my old clothing and stuff on eBay. Now I feel like probably Depop or like Poshmark, that's the other one, are probably an easier and more popular way to go about it. There's a lot of money in that, and that is a great way to sell your clothes during the summer. So now moving on to different summer bucket list ideas. Growing up in a small town, I used to feel like there was nothing to do. I was like, this is so boring. Don't get me wrong, I loved going to the local Chick-fil-A for like my social aspect in life, but like also when you do that every single day, it kind of gets boring. So, you know, when you're out of school and you have all this free time, you gotta get creative. The first idea is to go to Google and look up the coolest things to do in your county. Whatever you find to do, it might be in your town, but typically it's elsewhere, but it's still close by because it's in your county. This is kind of a cool way to have like a daycation, you know? I hope that's a word. It's definitely not. Whatever. It depends on where you live, but like different little like parks to explore or like lakes, such things. The second thing to do is camp. Growing up, I always wanted to go to camp. It was like always on the top of my bucket list, and every single year I would put it on the next bucket list because I would never do it, right? Super scary. Did you ever see that scene in Parent Trap where they like go and they like play pranks on the girls, and like that freaked me out. So I sucked it up and I went to camp despite my fears of what the Parent Trap said it would be. It was the best time I'd ever had. I wish I had done it all throughout my high school and like childhood years. I think sleepaway camp is honestly probably the most fun option, but if you're not ready for that, definitely do like a week-long like day camp. That way you can get used to the idea and then maybe try sleepaway camp once you're more comfortable with it. You can find a camp that caters to your interest, which is great. You're doing new things, you're meeting people, and you're not sitting in your room all day. It's a really freaking good time. And I know sometimes it can get a little pricey, but typically there is like scholarships and stuff you can apply for, so definitely look into that. If I could stress y'all doing one thing this summer, it's probably going to camp because I think it's so cool. Third thing on our list is to invest in yourself. And typically this is more of a inexpensive, probably free idea. You can kind of take this statement how you want. For me, that would be setting goals that I want to achieve for myself and make short-term goals that I could do like monthly. So those smaller things are going to be helping you get to the bigger picture goals. So the bigger picture goals are the things that you hope to accomplish by the end of the summer. The way I like to look at it is if you look at a big goal, it kind of seems overwhelming. So if you put short-term goals that are smaller, that are kind of, you know, relating back to the bigger goal, it seems more doable, if that makes sense. The summer gives you the perfect time to really invest in yourself and do what you want for yourself. Typically in the summer, you have a lot more free time, so it's the perfect time to do that. The fourth idea is to do a fun activity. Now, I know this just sounds so basic when I say do a fun activity, but I have ideas, guys. There's so many like local summery things that your town kind of offers that I would always forget about. When I say activities, fun activities. Like what I mean is like, okay, so I'm pretty sure most people, if you don't live by a beach, you live by a lake or something like that. I always forgot, for example, that like we had places that you could like go and like rent jet skis for the day, or you could go and like, I mean, if you have a huge group of people, like rent boats. You have lakes that you can go and like go on those like jumpy things in the lakes. I always forgot about that stuff when I like lived so close to it, so I think it's like something to remember that you could totally do. It can be a little bit more pricey, but just like once over the summer if you have extra cash, I think it's so fun to do that stuff. Idea number 5, go to your local thrift stores and see what cool options you can find. I used to love going thrift shopping and it's so inexpensive. We had a ton of random like Goodwills and thrift stores in my town, and I would just go to a ton of them and go find like the coolest pieces. Sometimes they look like a piece that maybe a grandma would wear, but if you can get past that, it's grandma chic and it's so cute. Great way to add pieces to your wardrobe. And those are some summer bucket list ideas. I'm fully aware of the fact that those weren't the craziest, you know, summer bucket list ideas, but I wanted to give y'all realistic ideas. Being a teen in a small town, you know, you don't always have like the opportunity to do like the wildest things. I could totally tell you to jet to Paris, but like realistically, are you going to jet to Paris at like 16 if you're watching this? Maybe. Props to you. I'd love to actually see that. Let me know your Instagram if you're gonna do that, but like, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys liked it. Also, make sure to comment down below and let me know your summer plans because I would love to know. Also, like I said, I'm going on vacation and I'm planning on vlogging it, but also I'm going to be posting a ton on Instagram, so make sure you go follow me on there. And yeah, let me know how your Phineas and Ferb summer is going. I don't know why I said that. Alright, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and bye guys!